was under pressure. Ministry never quit. I was trying to do better. July 2020 in the mountains of Tennessee.
That old man was on the block where I told him the Glock, serving that crack to the fiend, stay watching out for the cops. That old man was gang, 6 star with the flag, extended clip with the mag, trying to cop him a bag. All he ever really wanted was the fast cars, girls swinging on the pole, trying to be a rap star. Reprobate mind, never ever cared for y'all. Twisted fingers up, middle fingers pointed to stars. That old man was a joke, unequally yoked. I snuck in from the back door, put a rope on his throat. 3-4 was the cord, he was crying, oh Lord. I whispered in his ear, go and sin no more. Raised him in the air, jumped off in the water. Then I came out clean, now I am a martyr. Everything that I do is to please the Abba. A higher shore, a higher bar, I'll show y'all how to shop.
And lay the old man down. 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 Oh, lay the old man down. Lay the old man down.
I was under pressure. Ministry never quit. I was trying to do better. July 2020 in the mountains of Tennessee. With Hebrews from other hoods, showing true brotherhood. Nice August 1st, and we just finished this fire lesson. Down to the rivers to go receive a fire blessing. Riding to the waters in a set apart motorcade. I can feel a human like chill between my shoulder blades. Old man needs to be deaded. Hebrews standing on the shore, reflecting on the wrongs I've done before. Confessing that Yahuwah is the power, Yahusha is the master. I went to a king from a bastard. Down into the water, sight flashed before my eyes. Left a dead man in the living waters. Now it's time to ride. Praises go up, you know the rest. Ruach HaKodesh in this body of flesh. We let the old man down.
Lay the old man down. We lay the old man down. Lay the old man down. We lay the old man down. Lay the old man down. Lay the old man down. Whoa. Lay the old man down. Lay the old man down.
Mayday, got soul from the 70s. Effortlessly, I put praises to melodies. Offer these talents and gifts unselfishly. Servitude in my stride and my pedigree. Moves unorthodox, superseding most human logic. A child of the prophets, guided by the holy watchers. All my works are being recorded on the heavenly tablets. I work the tablets, they're my specialty. Disrespectfully, I chop your doctrine like celery. Y'all show me my post a whole lot. Old man can't knock me off. No, not at all. We boneless lions, y'all cotton soft. Tissue paper, the righteous. We must endure to the end. Will you better repent or get your issue later? Will you be ready when the bridegroom show up? Clean your garment, fill your lamp before we roll up. Lay the old man down. Yeah.
Lay the old man down. Lay the old man down. Lay the old man
Got to lay the old man down.
Lay the old man down. Lay the old man down. We lay the old man down. Whoa.
Old man down. Got to lay the old man down.
Lay the old man down.
Lay the old man down. Yeah.
Lay the old man down.
Used to prove.
Lay the old man down.
Got to lay the old man down. Yo.
We lay the old man down.
Yo.
We lay the old man down.
Yo. Lay the old man down. Yo. Lay the old man down. Yo.
Right.
Man down.
He who the Son sets free is free. It's free indeed. Still applying pressure. We ain't letting up till the kingdom come. Yeah. Man on fire.
Got to lay that old man down. Lay that old man down. Shout out to Emanon. You know, The boy holding on to that new album like it's his last $2. You know what I'm talking about? And but shout out to him, man. Keep bringing out real decent work. So check him out on SoundCloud. You can find that on SoundCloud, even on Yasharala. He may be on YouTube as well. I'm not 100% sure about that, but he does have some content on there. You can find it on the fervent prayers, fervent prayers on YouTube. Also, the Elephant in the Room podcast. So support you out. But all praise to the Most High. Thanks to Son Yahushua Mashiach. You are now joined with us, Script Talk Podcast. I'm on location once again in my car. And, I'm out trying to make a living at the same time, meet my responsibilities to the podcast, to my family, all that all at once. So it is what it is. But this is the Script Talk Podcast with Yag B. Lou, Brandon Lewis, bringing scripture, speaking on what it means and how it applies to our life today. Is what this podcast is all about. So today we're going to be discussing and reading the Shepard of Hermas, chapter 1. Now, the Shepard of Hermas is one of those books that they found excavating somewhere, and it's got some scriptural meaning to it, some scriptural connotations about the children of Israel, about prophecy, about righteousness, about wickedness. And chapter 1 is a banger. You'll see what I'm talking about as I get into it. Speaks about impure thoughts, speaks about a man being the head, being the patriarch of his family, being righteous and conducting those up under his care as such, admonishing them, rebuking them, as well as the edifying and uplifting, right? So here, Hermes is kind of he's a righteous man who came across a beautiful woman one day, had some thoughts he shouldn't have had. And he's also a man that let people get away with things that he shouldn't let them get away with. So chapter 1 is mainly speaking on those two things. So let's get right on into it. You know what I'm saying? Let's share it. We always got to share the screen. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Byron? Let me see if y'all can see. Okay, you can see. You can see. All right. So, Shepard of Hermas, chapter 1. This is also on PDF, or you can find it in the Play Store under the app name of The Lost Books. Right, you go into the Lost Books, you'll find it. You have to click over here, and go into it'll have Bible or it'll have Lost Books up there, and just go into the Lost Books and scroll down till you find it. All right. Against filthy and proud thoughts. Also, the neglect of Hermes in chastising his children. That's the heading of what this chapter is about. He who bred me up sold a certain young maid at Rome, whom when I saw many years after, I remembered her, and began to love her as a sister. It happened sometime afterwards that I saw her washing in the river Tiber, and I reached out my hand unto her and brought her out of the river. And when I saw her, I thought with myself, saying, how happy should I be if I had such a wife? both for beauty and manners. This I thought with myself, nor did I think any more. But not long after, as I was walking and musing on these thoughts, I began to honor this creature of the Most High, thinking with myself how noble and beautiful she was. So he done seen this woman bathing. So he's helping her out the water. She's more than likely naked. And he's thinking, oh, it's a beautiful woman. I'd love to have her. I'd love to be married with her. You know, this is kind of the clean version, but I part of me wants to believe that he thought more than that. Like he envisioned himself laying with her. Now that might not be the case, but you'll see going forward how he was rebuked for this. So I kind of figured it was worse than what they're saying. And when I had walked a little, I fell asleep. And the Ruach caught me away and carried me through a certain place toward the right hand, through which no man could pass. It was a place among rocks, very steep and impassable of water. When I was past this place, I came into a plain, and there falling upon my knees, I began to pray unto the Master and to confess my sins. And as I was praying, the heaven was opened, and I saw the woman which I had coveted saluting me from heaven and saying, Hermes, hail. Now this hail word, I'm pretty sure this is a very Roman, English construct. We wouldn't have said hail. We would have said, hi or shalom. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't have said no hail. Like that's like some German type stuff they threw in there. But and I, looking upon her, answered, Lady. Wouldn't have said lady either. We'd have said something like madam or ma'am. I don't know. It's all English. I just read it out. Lady, what dost thou do here? She answered me. This is a little note here. I'm gonna skip all this. It says, I am taken up hither to accuse thee of sin before the master. Lady said I, wilt thou said I, will thou convince me? He said, accuse me. No, said she, but hear the words which I am about to speak unto thee. The the Most High, who dwelleth in heaven, and hath made all things out of nothing, and hath multiplied them for his set apart assembly's sake, is angry with thee because thou hast sinned against me. And I answering said unto her, Lady, if I have sinned against thee, tell me where or in what place or when did I ever speak an unseemly or dishonest word unto thee? He's saying, listen, the whole time I've known you, which earlier it says that he knew her years ago, or one who resembled her. And he said, I never dealt with you in the wrong kind of way. I never came on to you, said you sexy or anything like that. It says, have I not always esteemed thee as a lady? Have I not always reverenced thee as a sister? Why then do thou imagine these wicked things against me? She, smiling upon me, said, the desire of naughtiness has risen up in thy heart. Does it not seem to thee to be an ill thing for a righteous man to have an evil desire rise up in his heart? They're talking about even, imagining having a woman in a sexual way is an evil thing. I know in many circles they say like you could think it as long as you don't act on it. But this kind of contradicts that statement to where not only should you not act, but you shouldn't even think it. It shouldn't even be in your mind, right? It is indeed a sin, and that a very great one, to such a one to the righteous, to one who desires to be righteous, right? For a righteous man thinketh that which is righteous, and willeth he does so, and walketh uprightly, he shall have the master in heaven favorable unto him in all his business. It said, if you keep these wicked thoughts from your mind, so the Most High will be favorable unto him in all his business. But as for those who think wickedly in their hearts, those that go around thinking these things about women, they take to themselves death and captivity, and especially those who ahab, well, probably would be love, who ahab this present world, and esteem in their riches, and regard not the two things that are to come. Their souls wander up and down and know not where to fix. It's saying that, thinking these kind of thoughts is symbolic of, not even symbolic, is that if you think like this, then it's pretty much guaranteed that you have a worldly mind. So when it comes to other things like the world, you think upon the world. You take pleasure in the world, and you could be easily caught up and easily snared with other sins, with other things. Rarely is a person just having issues in one place. As you'll find out, even with Hermes, he ain't just having issues with the woman. He's having issues at home with his family, with handling his business. Right? So it's like you got to cover all the bases. This is even cutting me. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I've said on other podcasts when I have to repent and everything and be cut. This is cutting me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm married. I don't be cheating on my wife, but I be looking. You know what I'm saying? And I be looking for one because I'm in public. Pretty much all day, every day, and I'm seeing women and they out here. They got the leggings on, the asses up, they the clothes are form fitting. You could see the breasts, you could see the buttocks. Oftentimes you could see the nipple, you could see the imprint of the vagina in these clothes. you know um I don't imagine having sex with them, but I do take notice. And I might take notice for quite some time. So uh you know this is cutting me as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, right? And it's something that I need to work on, because you know how you think certain things could be wrong, but it could just be like they said, as long as you think it and don't do it, you fine, right? But then you read something like this that tell you wrong for even thinking it. And it's even going so far as to tell you, for one, you're wicked. You're thinking wickedly in your hearts. You thinking it's just a little, I'm just noticing. But it's saying you thinking wickedly in your heart. And you thinking all is well. But it's saying they take to themselves death and captivity. So what could come from thinking these thoughts? Death and captivity. Death by sin and captivity to sin. And if you captive in this life to sin, you're gonna reap the fruits of that, which is eternal death. So you got to be mindful of these things. I'm being cut as we speak, as I read. I'm dripping blood. You know what I'm talking about? So ugh. Now this is the case of such as are double-minded, who trust not, ouch, who trust not in the Master, in the Most High, and despise and neglect their own life. But do thou pray unto the Master, and he will heal thy sins. That's what we got to do, brothers and sisters. We got to pray to the Most High to heal us of this mindset, of these thoughts that come across us. We got to pray for him to heal us, to remove these things from us. We got to cry out like the woman like the damsel who is taken and raped. You got to cry out. If you don't cry out, you guilty. I mean, you taking part in it. I mean, you wasn't against it. You was for it. And the sins of thy whole house and all his Kadashim, all his saints. As soon as she had spoken these words, the Shemaim were shut, and I remained utterly swallowed up with sadness and fear, and said within myself, if this be laid against me for sin, how can I be saved? Or how shall I ever be able to entreat the master for my many and great sins? He's like, man, apparently I do this a lot, or I do something similar. Because he says his sins are many and great. With what words shall I beseech him to be kind unto me? As I was thinking over these things and meditating in myself upon them, behold, a chair was set over against me, of the whitest wool, as white as snow. And there came an old woman in a bright garment, having a book in her hand, and sat alone, and saluted me, saying, Hey, Hermas, hey, ha. And I being full of sorrow. The boy is cut down behind that thing. He like me, but he's crying and sobbing behind it. Full of sorrow and weeping. Answer, hi, lady. What up, ma'am? And she said unto me, why art thou sad, Hermes? Hermes, who wert wont to be patient and modest and always cheerful. She's saying, you usually in such a good mood. What's wrong with you? And I answered and said to her, ma'am, a reproach has been laid to my charge by an excellent woman who tells me that I have sinned against her. She replied, for far be any such thing from the servant of the Most High. But it may be the desire of her has risen up in thy heart. For indeed such a thought maketh the servants of the Most High guilty of sin. Nor ought such a detestable thought to be in the servant of the Most High. Hey, listen, it's plain. They're telling us plainly. Nor should he who is approved by the Ruach desire that which is evil, but especially Hermas, who contains himself from all wicked lusts and is full of all simplicity and of great innocence. I wonder how it says this, but yet he says he has great and many sins. It confuses me. But nevertheless, the master is not so much angry with thee for thine own sake, as upon the account of thy house, which has committed wickedness against the master and against their parents. And for that ought of thy fondness towards thy sons, thou hast not admonished thy house. He's saying because you ahab your sons, because you care for your sons so much, you haven't said anything to them. So you know about what they're doing, but you haven't said anything. Or you haven't been paying attention enough to say anything. But has permitted them to live wickedly. Permitted, that means he knows about it. He has permitted them to live wickedly. For this cause the master is angry with thee, but he will heal all the evils that are done in thy house, for through their sins and iniquities thou art wholly consumed in secular affairs. He's saying because you got all this wickedness going on, this is why you doing like what you're doing out here, looking at naked women and whatnot, because your mind ain't right. It's a lesson in that. Maybe you catching hell because it's something that you haven't fixed. Now, it could be within yourself, but it also could be within others that you are fully able to do. Have you done it? Will you do it? Your salvation could be on the line, brothers and sisters. But now the kindness of the Most High hath taken compassion upon thee, and upon thine house, and hath greatly comforted thee. One said, hath preserved thee in honor. Only as for thee, do not wander, but be of an even mind, and comfort thy house. As the workman bringing forth his work offers it to whomsoever he pleaseth, so shalt thou by teaching every day what is just cut off a great sin. Wherefore cease not to admonish thy sons. Don't take it easy on them. For the master knows that they will repent with all their heart, and they shall be written in the book of life. So this is another thing we need to be mindful of. We have this mindset of you could just pray everything away and that the Most High gonna fix it. No, Hermes literally has to go and rebuke his sons. He has to literally go and teach them about righteousness, and he has to do it consistently. This is not something you could do here and there. It's something you got to be consistent on. Your faith, your belief has to have actions behind it, and he has to put his faith into action, right? Likewise, also do we, brothers and sisters. And when she had said this, she added unto me, wilt thou hear me read? I answered her, yes, ma'am, I will. Hear then, said she, and opening the book, she read, esteemed greatly and wonderfully, such things as I could not keep in my memory, for they were terrible words, such as no man could bear. Howbeit I committed her last words in my remembrance, for they were but few and great use to us. Behold, the mighty master, who by his invisible power and with his excellent wisdom made the world, and by his esteemed counsel beautified his creature, and with the word of his strength fixed the Shemaim and founded the Arats upon the Shemaim as well. And by this power, virtue established his set apart assembly, which he had gifted. Behold, he will remove the Shemaim and the mountains, the hills and the seas, and all the things shall be made plain for his elect, that he may render unto them the promise which he has promised, with much honor and joy. If so be, they shall keep the commandments of the Most High, which they have received with great amunah. And when she had made an end of reading, she rose out of the chair, and behold, 4 young men came and carried the chair to the east. And she came, and she called me unto her, and touched my breast, and said unto me, did my reading please thee? I answered, ma'am, these last things please me, but that went before was severe and hard. She said unto me, these last things are for the righteous, but the foregoing for the revolters and heathen. And as she was talking with me, 2 men appeared and took her upon their shoulders and went to the east where the chair was. And she went cheerfully away and was singing and was going. And as she was going, said to me, Hermes, be of 2 cheer. Toda Yah. So all praise to the Most High Yah, that has been the shepherd of Hermes. So as we see here, we need to be mindful of our thoughts, whether it be of lust, of anger, of hatred. We have to watch what we put across our mind. Let's dwell upon righteous things. Let's dwell upon two things about being of service to our brothers and sisters, being of service to the creator of the heavens and earth, Shemaim and the Rats. It's not going to be easy, right? Because many of us are used to the world and used to thinking things that we should not, right? So let's try to train ourselves, let's try to train our mind, train our thoughts, train our actions to be Tube and to be Sadiq, to be set apart and to be towards the Most High, Yah, and be at peace with all men. And may these things be so in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, we pray. Torah, Torah. Hallelujah. 12 tribes. Well, hit that like button. First off, hold on. Stop what you're doing. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that subscribe and that notification bell. And we'll see you next time on the Script Talk podcast. All praise to the Most High. Thanks to Yahushua HaMashiach. 12 tribes, one nation. Hallelujah.
Lay the old man down. 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 Oh, lay the old man down. Lay the old man down.
I was under pressure. Ministry never quit. I was trying to do better. July 2020 in the mountains of Tennessee.
Lay the old man down. 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 Oh, lay the old man down. Lay the old man down.
I was under pressure. Ministry never quit. I was trying to do better. July 2020 in the mountains of Tennessee.
Shalom. My name is Kaylee. Today we're gonna sing a song.
Yeah, precepts, statutes, judgments, laws, spring, wintertime, summer, falls, mortgages, taxes, social security, social issues, racial obscurity, made in his image, made with no limits, made with the blueprint. You don't want my 2 cents. World, I'm a nuisance. Nowhere, truth lives. Brew with an attitude. Interscope, ruthless. Top down, head up. Clear night, stars out. Sheep amidst the wolves. Eat your heart out. Sword up, shields up. Put fiery darts out. All in. Block, turn, river. My car's down. South Park, stick and move. Can't let my guards down. St. Louis, wintertime. Listening to guards down. Demons, they lurking. Eyes open, I see you. Strapped up daily. I squeeze if I need to. Hashatan lay down. Red dragon lay down. Heavens movie. Watch how it plays out. Guided by his right hand. Works of repentance. Gather the 2 sticks. Go in the distance. Living waters got deep. Into my spirit breathe. Come out the waters clean. For the Shamayim. Gird up. Mash out. Speak up. Act out. Activist. Frontline. No, won't back down. Listen, Israel. Our power is one. And one day we'll walk right up to the sun. Heavy is the head.